In the 1870s, he visited Fernando Po, now Bioko in Equatorial Guinea. 6 years later, he returned to Ghana with some cocoa beans, and being a farmer at heart, he planted the beans in Mampong, where he lived with a family member. Today, Ghana is the second largest cocoa exporter in the world. In recognition for his contribution to Ghana's economy, the Tetteh Memorial Hospital was built in Mampong, Equiapem by Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. However, this hospital, which is to serve as a memorial to this man, is in dire need of support. The medical superintendent of the hospital, Dr. Mauli Kutupe Jacobo, is the best person to tell this part of the story.
You go to the accident center, you realize that it's been overtaken by records, and accident cases are not taken up at the accident emergency center because it's not functional, and we have to do that at the outpatient department. It's the only hospital that manages cases like that on the ridge, and yet this is the situation we find ourselves in. What kind of care do you expect patients coming with very bad injuries to receive? Presently, I can talk of no really functional anesthetic machine. And so when someone comes and is really injured, we need to anesthetize the patient to take good care of, we are found wanting. We are unable to provide the kind of care we want to. If we have a pregnant woman have to go to a cesarean session, we're unable to do a spinal anesthesia. How do we take care of these patients? The situation has been left unattended to for too long.
Already disheartened by the state of the hospital, my team and I set off in search for Tetteh Quarshie's farm, unsure about the journey ahead. We found out that the state of Tetteh Quarshie's cocoa farm is no different from that of the hospital. The farm no longer attracts the visitors it used to, but the tree still bears some fruits. The size of the farm, we're told, is 0.38 hectares, with about 500 trees at the last count. The caretakers here tell me that they are able to get 3 bags at the end of the year, and the proceeds goes to Tetteh Quarshie's family member in Accra. I am standing beside one of the 2 original trees planted by Tetteh Quarshie in the year 1879. The tour guide here tells me that all these trees we see around here came out of these 2 original trees planted by Tetteh Quarshie after his death. From Christmas Day in 1892 when he died, the farm was left unattended to, and likewise, the trees died with the exception of 2. Therefore, in 1960, one Openi Kwame Asumenin, a farmer who also had knowledge about the cash crop, was contracted to oversee the farm. It was he who nurtured all these trees from the 2 left. Ghana Cocoa Board, on the other hand, provides technical support by way of periodic fumigation of the farm, as well as other maintenance when needed. This mausoleum, which was to serve as a visitor center, was added on in 2006. Here, Tetteh Quarshie's belongings were put on display for tourists. However, since 2010, when the tour guide resigned, the center has remained under lock and key, and no one knows where the keys are. The building is also deteriorating. Interestingly, my team and I came across this application letter from a school seeking permission to visit the farm, and this certainly is a storehouse of part of Ghana's history. At the end of each day, the caretakers here lock up the place with this makeshift gate. My next stop was the house in which Tetteh Quarshie lived. Thankfully, the house in which Tetteh Quarshie came to live with a family member is still intact. We were told that 5 years ago, Cocoa Board renovated the madhouse for the family. We met a great-great-granddaughter of Tetteh Quarshie, Madame Dorothy Hammond, who showed us his room and some working tools they had discovered. And this proved that he indeed was a professional blacksmith and a farmer. Even though Tetteh Quarshie is said to have died on Christmas Day in 1892, his grave remains a mystery. There is no tombstone or marked grave to show his final resting place. Some say he simply vanished. Auntie Dorothy is also unable to help clarify this and calls her grandfather on phone. He says the family is still making efforts to locate the exact spot where Tetteh Quarshie was buried to clear all doubts. After almost an entire day, virtually going through the pages of history and exploring the life of one of Ghana's illustrious sons, my team and I set off to look for some kinky, only to find out that no one can get kinky on Wednesdays in Mampong. But that will be a story for another day. Tired but content to have experienced the world of Tetteh Quarshie, my team and I started a return journey to Accra to put together this history lesson. So, that was how Ghana got a name onto that map. Tetteh Quarshie is an invaluable part of our history and certainly one to be celebrated. That has been my journey for this week. Join us next week when we bring you another report. Who knows, we might be coming to your area.
My Journey, a reporter's diary of events from across the country, showing every Saturday night at 7:30 p.m. only on GBC 24.